we will be investigating the case of Robert Pickton. Did he get justice? After an anonymous tip was given to the Vancouver Police Department, they were able to obtain a search warrant to search his farm. In doing so, it sparked the largest forensic investigation in all of Canada. After they searched the farm, they found many missing body parts scattered all over the farm that were buried. Also, they found body parts that were frozen in this freezer. Charge was Robert Pickton arrested? He was arrested on February 22nd, 2002, on a weapons arrest for having illegal firearms.
1 second.
He was convicted of killing 6 women. Their names were Serena Abbotsway, age 29, Mona Lee Wilson, age 26, Andrea Doesbury, age 22, Brenda Ann Wolfe, age 32, Marnie Lee Frey was, no one really knew how old she was because it doesn't say on Wikipedia. And Georgia Faith Fappin. We're not quite too sure how old she is. What was the defendant's case in the trial? Well, the defendant raised credibility issues of Crown's key witnesses by bringing up issues such as drug use, alcohol abuse, and regular run-ins with the law. Also, they aggressively challenged DNA evidence used by the Crown, as well as they questioned the suspects that the alternative suspects that the police had.
Okay guys, enough cow stories. Now, what was the actus reus in the Robert Pickton case?
Oh my.
It was murder.
Oh hey, didn't see you there. Robert Pickton's trial began in January 2006 and ended December 2007. The reason that it took so long was they had to investigate each woman's murder individually. Now, was the Robert Pickton case actus reus? And as you know, actus reus is the external element or objective act of a crime. Pickton had the actus reus with his voluntary act of killing all the women. His actus reus was proved beyond a reasonable doubt within the court case. This was done by evidence on the farm that they found, forensic evidence, by eyewitness accounts, and by DNA examination. I don't give a f*** about this shit. Oh, we're going? Okay. Now, was Robert Pickton mens rea? As you know, mens rea is the mental element of being guilty when committing a crime. Pickton did not act on the spur of the moment, but rather had planned out his murders through a various act of tasks. It's like he would shoot them in his trailer and then carry them all the way to his slaughterhouse, and then he would slaughter them, bury the bones on his farm, and get rid of the meat at the waste plant. Essentially, every single murder involved the same plan which he used regularly on women, therefore it was considered to be mens rea. This tastes funny. Wonder where they get their meat. Was a plea bargain used in the Robert Pickton case? This is a very common question asked, one that I hear quite often. No. She said, the defendant, said that she couldn't even negotiate a plea bargain with Pickton's defense lawyer to a lesser charge because I didn't have a witness. Robert?
Robert.
Robert, is that you? We stand here on the site of Pickton Farms, where Robert Pickton murdered 49 women, to get to the bottom of what this case is all about. What was Pickton's defense? Pickton denied all responsibility for the murders. He suggested someone else was to blame despite all the evidence that was against him. Now, why did this case take so long to get to court? It took so long because of all the forensic evidence they needed to gather.
600,000 exhibits needed to be sent for DNA recognition. 3,000 witnesses were interviewed by the police. The case was so factually complex that it took a long time to investigate all the major aspects of it. What was the Pickton trial, and why did it take so long? The Pickton trial went from January 30th, 2006 to December 11th, 2007. It was so long because they had to investigate each murder specifically and individually. In doing this, all the forensic evidence they needed to be presented and examined in court. In my opinion, did the victim impact statements sway the judge in his determination of the sentence? I believe that yes, it did. After personally examining the statements, it is clear that anyone would feel empathy toward the victims and their families which gave statements. This is likely to lead the judge towards a more harsh judgment despite all the evidence that was shown in the defense's case. Now, as you can see, I stand myself right here in front of the slaughterhouse where Robert Pickton allegedly murdered 49 women. Do I believe that justice was served in Pickton's sentence? Well, justice was served in the fact that Pickton will spend the rest of his life in jail as he has no chance of receiving bail. However, he was only charged with the murder of 6 women rather than the 49 he admitted to and the 27 that were found on his farm. In that case, justice was not served to the full extent that it should be. Oh hey! Didn't see you there! Now, what procedural law did the Crown have to follow within the Pickton case? The crime scene must be accurately photographed within the court cases. In the Pickton trial, the use of photographs took an even more prominent role than your average case would. The prosecution and the defense agreed to produce photographs of physical evidence rather than producing the actual exhibits in the court. The trial judge ordered that the Crown provide the defense with the date, time, object depicted, and its photographer in court. They had to make sure every warrant that was used was legitimate. Because of how massive this case was, if any of these procedures were broken, the court case would be thrown out. This also played a role in why this case took so long to get to court. Oh hey! Didn't see you there! What is a voir dire used in this case? A voir dire is when a judge or counsel examines or interviews a witness or juror to see what evidence they will allow and what evidence is relevant to the case. The voir dire in this case began January 30th, 2006 with Justice James Williams and was scheduled to continue for several months.
Was there an appeal? Yes.
Evidence was presented by the Crown in this case. Well, the most prominent piece of evidence is the video recording of Robert Pickton himself talking about the women who he murdered. Other than that, all evidence for the case was found within a 70-meter radius of Pickton Farms, including the inhaler of Abbotsway found in Pickton's trailer, body parts of 6 missing women scattered over the farm, various restraint devices scattered over the farm also, and personal belongings of 4 of his victims with DNA evidence. Also, a .22 caliber and a Wesson handgun were found in his trailer. To what extent do I believe that justice was served in the Pickton trial? I believe that justice was not served, ultimately, because he was only charged for the murders of 6 women rather than the estimated 49 women that he killed, or for the bodies of the 27 women found on his farm. Regardless, he will spend the rest of his life behind bars. Well, that's going to do it for us here at Pickton Farms. But now you know, justice is best served in the form of video presentation.